Go ahead, lead off.
Let's just let a quick second here and let some people jump on.
Oh, probably.
So because we're on split screen, I can't see any of the demographics or anything like that. So
it's okay.
That's on you.
See, they're talking about, and I'm not seeing. Yeah, they're wrong. Because it said when you come on.
You're on.
Okay. I tried to get the link right underneath it. We got 12 people watching.
Okay, awesome. Let's give it one more minute.
There's a delay, Jay.
Yeah, there's going to be a delay no matter what. That's why I like watching just this. I'm not going to watch that too much.
No, I was going to say that works perfect for me as well.
Yeah, 23.
All right, cool. Let's kick it off. Welcome to the second episode of the Luke and Jay, or Jay and Luke show. Depends on your persuasion. I think it should be Luke and Jay, and Jay thinks it should be Jay and Luke.
Alphabetical order says Jay comes before L.
Yeah, so but if you think about, think about PB and J. P comes before J.
Jelly and peanut butter. Oh my God.
Who calls it a jelly and peanut butter sandwich? They call it a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Do you remember when your mom told you were in the birth canal so long and it pushed on your head?
Hey, I've got a good round head.
Full development didn't actually take place.
So
go ahead. Let me ask you a question before we get started.
Okay, hit it.
Tell them what we're going to do. If I said something to you on the phone today where I went, Luke, I am your father. And you gave me this big sigh, man.
Because you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of all these people that want to go, hey, you and Jay weren't 6 feet apart. That's not social distancing. Like, come on. Like, holy cow. I get it. It's important. But, so I think some people thought it was funny. It's kind of like when a police officer comes into a store and somebody puts their hands up and goes, I didn't do it. That's kind, or they go, hey, do you want a donut? It's just, it's not real funny. It's not original. It's not original right now. So because of that, you and I have acquired the technology to be able to do a split screen option. You were at your house. I am at my house. So we're roughly 3.7645 miles apart. You would be northwest of me, and I would be southeast of you, based on that. So, but yeah, we're here live, and you can see the comments. I cannot see the comments.
Yeah, but I'm still working. I'm still playing around. That's why I'm not paying total attention. My favorite one is when somebody says to me, "Oh, gross," when they find out my name. Yeah, I've never heard that one before. No.
Yeah, that's real original. That's real original.
So it's interesting, but anyway, we get to that.
So kick off what we're talking about tonight, because this is going to be fun. We're
all right, going across the bottom. Luke and I, when we started doing this, he's my vent buddy. And the bottom line is he knows if he tells me something, it stays with me. I know that if I tell him something, it stays with him. What we were doing was we were trying to find ways just to find positives to stay sane in this whole freaking crazy world as we got going on right now. So what we did was the last one that we talked about was just inspirational stories. So he had so much fun. He says, man, we need to do another one. I go, yeah, what are we going to do? So we started thinking, well, we both love 80s movies. I said, oh, there we go. But we don't want ones that are deep where you got to think or they're super emotional. What we tried to do is the top 10 80s movies that you can just sit and chill by and enjoy. You don't have to critique it. You don't have to do anything.
80s were the best. 80s movies were the best by far. Now, so you were a little bit older than I am in the 80s. You were like, what? Were you in your early 20s during the 80s? Roughly? How old were you? When the Tigers won the last World Series in 1984, how old were you?
I was there at the game 6 when Gibby hit that home run and come around the dugout. I was sitting behind the home base dugout when he come around the corner. He hit it off Goose Gossage. I was sitting with my brother watching that game.
When Sparky Anderson looked at him and said, he doesn't want to pitch to you, and Goose Gossage made the mistake of pitching to him.
We heard it. It's one of the greatest points of my life.
I think
You wanna know
he may have broke Dick McCullough, the third base coach's arm when he came around giving him that high five. But that was
it was
good
unbelievable.
stuff. I was 9 years old at the '84
Yeah.
World Series.
That's 20. So anyway, back to what we were talking about. We got. I'm playing with the buttons, you guys. So when I look around and I pause a little bit, I'm trying not to, but it's Believe comments from the Facebook Live post appear on Be Live. Oh, I guess you'd have to go to it. So what we decided to do was we're going to do that. And if you look on my Facebook page, right, it should be pretty close to right underneath us. There's a link that you can vote when we get done. So we're going to do our top 10 list. I put mine on my phone. We're going to go 10, 9, all the way to number 1. And I'm going to bet anyone who pretty much knows me or anyone who has had my class, especially my speech class, is going to know my number 1. So, Luke, you come up with your number 10, and then I'll do my number 10. But you got to tell why.
So this is a little bit different because I didn't actually rank them from 1 to 10. I actually have about 17. So, but that's okay. That's okay because
nobody listens to directions anymore.
These are 80s movies that make you feel good, and that's all that matters right now.
Get them done with 10 through, and then the rest are honorable mention. I give you one job.
Okay.
I give you one.
First, number 1.
No, don't give away. You build up to that. Man, you go number 10, 9, 8, 7, reverse order. The kids lose a third of a grade in speech class if they don't do that. They know that. They're watching.
Okay. Let's go with you go with your number 10 since mine are out of order.
Yeah, because you didn't do your homework. I'll give you one job. Okay, I got to find it first. I want to see where it's at. People, you can argue, you can disagree, you can do what you got to do. It doesn't matter because we're not going to I want to make sure the sound's off. We're not going to be doing a whole lot of replying. I'm not going to do a whole lot of arguing. Okay, what I did is this one right here. You're probably not going to – a lot of you won't recognize it, but it's the movie called Can't Buy Me Love with
Patrick Dempsey. Patrick Dempsey.
Yeah,
okay.
He buys her for the summer. And what it is with peer pressure. You're going to notice a lot of mine have an educational / young adult message to it. But it's that young boy coming of age, loves the girl he can't have, does anything to get her. Then when he turns on her. Finally, it ends up in the end, him just being himself. He gets the girl and he comes away. So my number 10 was Can't Buy Me Love, because I still remember one of my high school crushes. No, I'm not going to name it here. Just watched her all the time in the hallway before Stalking was original. But Can't Buy Me Love is my number 10.
That's a strong number. That's a strong number 10. Number 10, I'm going to go 1986. Here's what the synopsis of the movie says. It says a socially inept 14-year-old experiences a heartbreak for the first time when his two best friends, Cappy, an older brother figure, and Maggie, the new girl whom he is in love with, fall for each other. And that movie is called Lucas. Corey Haim. Good movie.
One of Corey Haim's first ones.
It's a little a little emotional, but good movie overall. I'm coming out of the gate with Lucas at 10.
That's got a heart wrencher there too. That's more along the serious side for a lesson, but I did like that.
Yeah, it was a good flick.
Okay, so at 10 you got Lucas. I got Can't Buy Me Love.
Yeah.
Okay, number 9. It's funny because if you look at these, you can see personalities in people. And when I did this one, I looked at it a few times. My number 9. Another high school type story with high school kids. Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Spicoli. Yeah.
Jeff Spicoli, the crew going on. But once again, you got all these relationship things going on. Kids trying to find themselves, trying to fall in love, get jobs. And it's kind of one of those that I just look back and I always smile. I always laugh. I've probably watched that movie 100 to 200 times as it comes into that. But I would go with my number 10, Can't Buy Me Love. And number 9, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Who's your number 9?
Okay, number 9, we're going with 1989. Synopsis. Two seemingly dumb teens set off on a quest to prepare the ultimate historical presentation with the help of a time machine. That, my friend, is Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Love Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Good story. Well, I Googled them today because I did my homework when I told you this was happening. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, not all the sequels and all that stuff, but that's just a good movie where you can just laugh and it's funny and they're goofy and nothing wrong with it.
Doesn't need a lot of brain waves to get through to that.
No, and that's okay. That's okay.
Okay, number 8, and I'm sorry, this is a tough one for you to beat on this one. So if this isn't on your list, you got some serious issues. Number 8 for me is simple. Caddyshack. Totally 100%, no brainwaves needed. Just sit back, laugh. Bill Murray, one of his premier roles that really launched him into superstardom, became absolutely amazing when he got down to that. So you get to that point when I looked at it, I just, I've been how many times I've been on a golf course and guys are talking about it, the Cinderella story, however it comes. I don't know. But I just know straight up Caddyshack, my number 8 without hesitation.
Okay. I'm going to go with number 8. I'm going to go 1984. We mentioned this on the last event or our last episode. That's Red Dawn. Red Dawn was just that was a good movie. The idea being that the Soviets invade us. That was during the time when we weren't sure exactly who the Soviets were, Cold War, all that stuff, and highly, highly unrealistic and improbable that 7 high school kids could take out the whole Soviet army. The bad guy in there, Ron O'Neal. Ron O'Neal was an incredible actor. He also played Superfly back in the day. So just a good movie overall. 1984, when the Tigers won the World Series. Red Dawn is my number 8.
I'm going to pull this, though, because people who vote for me, that's too apocalyptic for these times right now. It's too depressing.
I disagree. I disagree.
But there were some phenomenal actors in it. Absolutely phenomenal actors.
Yes, there were.
Okay, number 7. I'll
number
bet you and I
7,
agree. We're going to agree, but we'll probably have them listed differently because I know you and I are the same mindset. Number 7 for me is Goonies. If you haven't seen Goonies, childhood growing up, it is absolutely so much fun. The big thing was, I think of my old buddies, Brad Patriga, John LaRose, walking the ditches, and we're talking about all these just adventures you go on with pirates or foreign intrigue, and these kids searching for that pirate ship and everything they go through, and nobody believes the main character, and then all of a sudden it's got the romance, it's got the action, it's got the danger, it's got the message. It's a free, carefree one to watch and just have a good time.
So Goonies is going to come up on my list. It's going to be a little bit higher though.
Okay, I can respect that.
But classic. When Goonies is on, if it's on TV right now, I'm still watching it because I still love the Truffle Shuffle. I love Data, with all of his inventions, and Absolutely. Again, highly improbable, but good stuff. I heard they're going to make a remake of it, which probably will be, not as good as the original because they're never as good.
No.
But so that was your number 7. My number 7, this was before this actor kind of went off the deep end for a while. This is when every single kid went to the movie theater. I saw this in Elma with my granny and grandpa. They took me to this, and this involves the Navy and flying. Every kid in 1986 wanted to be Maverick or Goose or Viper or Iceman or Slider, and they wanted to be Top Gun. Top Gun is a legitimate movie. I get sick just like watching roller coasters, and I don't know why I thought when I was that age that I would be able to do the stuff they do in an airplane because I would throw up all over the cockpit. But number 7, Top Gun. Again, they're making a remake or something like that. Tom Cruise is like 73 years old now or something, and
he's an instructor.
It's no good. It's no good.
It'll be interesting to see how they do it. But see, once again, I did not go apocalyptic and think of world ending. So I tried to stay lighthearted. So that's 2 now you've talked about with possible war and different things going on. So not that I'm trying to get anybody to vote for me. I would never do that.
Possibly.
I'm trying to stay with the chill.
But wait until you see my top ones because that's like a legitimate thing.
Okay. Well, you do your 6 now. Let's flip-flop. Do your number 6.
Okay, number 6. This is another one that I saw in the theater in Elma, downtown Elma. 1984, a young boy moving from New Jersey to California, trying to find his way in life and what would happen. But he starts getting beat up by bullies all the time. The Cobra Kai.
Karate Kid.
He meets Mr. Miyagi. I still remember sitting in the theater, and it was the part where he has the shower on, and he turns the water on him, and he tries to run away, and they catch him right at the top of the fence. And I remember watching that, and so 1984. So again, I was 9 years old, and I remember thinking that my mom was going to make us leave the theater. And I looked at her and I said, "Mom, I know this is just pretend," because he was getting beat up pretty good. But I think my last 2, I think Top Gun caused people to join the Navy, and I'm pretty sure Karate Kid upped the people that want to be doing karate worldwide pretty quickly. But Karate Kid, that's not all the ones in Okinawa and all that kind of stuff.
I like the first one.
This is like a legitimate original type stuff.
I
And
enjoyed the movie.
yeah, what a great story. You know, I mean,
It's Ralph
kind of the end.
Macchio.
Ralph Macchio. Ralph Macchio.
Reminded me
Like
of
him.
Scott Baio, who
Yeah.
also the two of them together could be triplets with Joe Passalacqua. You start thinking about it. If they remake Happy Days, I could see Joe coming back as,
Oh
Hey.
my, Joe
All
P.
right.
What's up, Joe P?
he won't be out there watching. There's no way. So
Okay, what's your number
a-
6? What's your number 6?
Number 6 is Princess Bride. I love Princess Bride. Totally carefree, though. There's no thought process, and that's what I'm looking at right now. Sit back, enjoy, don't think. And when you're sitting there, the only time there's any thinking when there's a poison. And when he starts going back and he pulls it and then he drinks it because he poisoned them both as you go back and forth. But I absolutely loved Princess Bride because it was so carefree. And I've got to be honest with you, I like the medieval stuff, and it's about as medieval. And then who was Andre the Giant?
Andre the Giant was in that.
Passed. Yeah, when he passed, he was such a nice, likable character. But it really freaked me out when I saw it as a kid because they had that thing that sucked the life out of you. You put those 2 cones on him and sucked a year of his life away. But that would be terrible. That would be terrible. What's your number 5?
Okay, number 5. I am going with this kind of fits you as a high school teacher. I'm going 1986. A high school wise guy is determined to have a day off from school despite what his principal thinks.
I know that one.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Classic movie. As they go around Chicago, and when he pretends he's Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago, at the restaurant to get the good seat is a classic scene. Young Charlie Sheen is in that as a delinquent.
The bad boy.
Yep, the bad boy.
Mia Sara that played his girlfriend, I fell in love with, and then she played with Tom Cruise in Legend. I had the biggest crush on her.
Yeah, I think that is a legitimate. That's a legitimate one right there. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I mean, that's still one that you can watch right now. My co-pilot Cooper is agreeing.
I'll go head to head with you on this one because I'm gonna get the women on the next one. A lot of guys too, I'd hope. But number 5 for me is Say Anything. John Cusack.
I've never heard of that in my life.
Oh my God, you need to see it. High school kids. It's towards the end of the year. He's kind of the class clown / misfit. Falls in love with the valedictorian, alpha beta going on scholarships everywhere. Asks her to go to this party with them. There's a party at the end. The kicker is this. You remember the song In Your Eyes, Peter Gabriel?
No.
You ever see the kid that's
I know. Yep.
He stands outside her room and holds that up while that song plays because she won't talk to him anymore. She wants to go over to Europe, and her dad's kind of in between them. And she's in bed trying not to listen to that because that was their song. If you watch the movie, you know why. But that is one of those where you can't help but feel good at the end, especially because they defy the odds. That's my 5. Say anything. What's your 4?
I'm with
that. You got your 5?
So I did number 5 at Ferris Bueller's Day Off. So my number 4, it's kind of like it's a 2-parter. So because it's our show, we can do what we want, right?
Yeah.
So number 4 is going to be 19. Okay, get rid of a dog. Imagine that. There's a dog at the girl's house.
Come on, Mike.
Okay. Number 4 for me is 1982 Rocky 3 when he fights Mr. T. But I also added in Rocky 4 when he fights Ivan Drago because every kid watched Rocky 3 and 4, and yeah, it was just. I mean, that was good stuff. I remember watching Rocky 4. And you know how every Rocky movie he's getting beat up before he makes his big comeback. And we were in the theater, the Cinema 4 theater where Walgreens is at right now in Mount Pleasant. And as he's getting beat up and starts to make his comeback, we're in a full theater. I don't know how many people are in that theater, a couple hundred people. This guy stands up in the middle of the theater and says, "Kick his butt, Rocco." And everybody starts cheering. I will remember that as long as I live. I remember that man standing up and saying, "Kick his butt, Rocco." So Rocky is legitimate. I will still watch Rocky 3 and Rocky 4.
That's what I love. I love when they take you back to a time. I love when they take you back to a time and you can remember. By the way, if Sean Powers is still on, I want him to look over my shoulder there and see those 200 Halo darts that are right there. Every single one has an SP on the end. So I haven't even cracked him
Ouch.
open yet. Yeah, they got his
That's
name on
rough.
it.
That's
My
rough.
number 4, I'm going to agree with you. I just had a little higher, Karate Kid, because you got the underdog, the kid that's getting bullied that finally stands up. He does something about it. The theme behind it is amazing. You got a love story that he's in there with Elizabeth Shue. She was absolutely beautiful back then. Love Mr. Miyagi, the kind of a misfit. Two misfits find each other. Boom, look what they do with each other. But I like the kid that stands up for himself. And that's just one of those, it's an inspirational one, kind of like with Rock, too.
But now have you seen the updated Cobra Kai on YouTube, that series?
Yeah.
So, and you start to see that Johnny, who was the villain we thought in Karate Kid, was actually from a broken, abusive home. You know, and it kind of shows, it shapes why he was the way he was. It's a really interesting example, I think, for kids nowadays. Unfortunately, we judge kids based on what we see. We don't know what they're going through when they're not out in our eyes all the time.
I agree. It's not what the kid did. Why did the kid do that? You start thinking, what made the kid do that? I'll ask a kid a lot of times if I ever have a problem with somebody in class. It's like, what did I do? Did I do something to offend you? Did I do something to hurt your feelings, man? And 9 times out of 10, they look right at me and they go, no, you didn't do anything. I had a really bad day.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's very interesting. And if you are into the YouTube deal, you need to look up Cobra Kai and watch. I think there's been 2 seasons maybe, or 1 season. The next season I think is coming out. But actually, Johnny and the Karate Kid, Daniel, they actually are teaching karate to the next generation. So it's a very interesting thing. Obviously, they're adults now. So good stuff. Okay, let's flop it to you. Let's go ahead.
Top 3. No, we're down to the top 3 right now.
Yeah,
so.
you go with your 3 first.
This is as mindless as it comes. And I don't know why, but I watch it every time.
Okay.
Ghostbusters, the original, the first one. I can't help it. I absolutely love that movie. Bill Murray I don't know what it is. He's amazing. He makes me laugh. We saw him golfing. My brother and I and a bunch of my buddies had flown out to Vegas. Yes, Bob Alger. That was the time I called in sick. But it was we were out there at the golf outing, the Pro-Am, and here's Bill Murray walking by, and he grabs my brother's camera back then, one of the Polaroids that kicked the picture out, takes a selfie of the 2 of them. So it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. So I'm a Bill Murray guy. But I watched that movie when it comes in, and it's just one of those, you just watch it, and it's so funny. And Dan Aykroyd's face when they're all turning to look at him, he goes, I did the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I mean, he's so busted, just the one-liners. So there's one that's kind of inappropriate when they're talking to the mayor and the idiot's screaming and yelling. He's just, this is true, and you guys know the rest of the line. But I'm going to leave it right there.
Yeah. This is a family show. This is a family. So my family show is, and I'll just this show has just one thing. When they're in the huddle and the coach looks at him and he says, "I'll make it." Yes, we are talking about Jimmy Chitwood from the Hickory Huskers, Hoosiers, 1986. I don't know. I remember getting this movie. McDonald's was selling, like, you could get this with like a Happy Meal or something like that. And it was on VHS tape. And I watched that final game so many times. When he gets up there and he says, I figure it's time I start playing some ball. And the whole crowd goes crazy. And he says, I play, coach stays. He goes, I go. Love that. Love the power of a young man who sees the bigger deal that, you know, that Coach Dale is doing what's supposed to be done to some kids who honestly didn't want to be coached. And I absolutely love Hoosiers. The soundtrack that they play when they go on that run and they start winning games is just awesome. But the that last game is when Jimmy just goes off for about 40 points is good stuff. So yeah, number 3, Hoosiers, absolutely all the way. Any kid that grew up playing basketball, that, you know, that's a cult classic.
I love that one. I'm surprised I didn't put that on my list because I love that same situation. When you get it, still looking for lighthearted stuff. So that was your 3?
Yes, that was my 3.
I'm at my number 2, and this is where we agree. I just had a lot higher. Ferris Bueller. I mean, what kid, and me included, skipping high school, doing what he did. I mean, he shows up, he fakes being her father and gets her out of school. And I still remember I took off with Sada in my Jeep. We went over to John Glenn, picked up our girlfriends, took off, went to the beach. I mean, we skipped so much, and it was his fault because he had a Jeep and a car. I was just kind of along for the ride. I really didn't want to go. But I look at Ferris Bueller and all the things that he was doing, and when that Ferrari goes out the window, can you imagine if it was your dad's collectible Ferrari? I blew up my Solex, and it caught on fire, and it caught me on fire, and I had to push it home. And oh, my dad was so angry. But it was mine. It wasn't Dad's Ferrari. He got away with everything, and he's one of those guys you always want to be. And I look at Ferris Bueller, and I'm just like, man, just totally had it going on.
Well, and that's was it Ben Stein that was playing the teacher that said Bueller?
Yes.
Bueller.
Yeah, we've all done that.
That was the class. I'm sure that's the classic. That's one of those cult classic for teachers.
Yeah, we all do it.
Just repeating it. So I like that one. My 2 is what your number 6 or 5 is Goonies. Goonies is just, I mean, that's a movie that when it's on, I'm watching it. It's a good overall, just laughable movie. The relationship between Sloth and Chunk that develops is again a neat one, because you got 2 people who are misfits who see the best in each other and just have an absolute blast, and in the end he's the protector of all the kids. So I absolutely love that. Goonies, definitely 1985. Yep. Baby Ruth. Remember Baby Ruth?
Oh man, but when they come out, when that pirate ship, when it breaks free and it sails off, I mean, it's just one of those climactic moments when it goes off. They were successful when it came into that.
Yep.
Hey, we're down to the number ones.
Okay.
Most people can tell me the number ones, but I gotta take a second here. I'm very disturbed at the moment. I checked the responses. We've had 14 votes so far, and only one person has voted for me. So that hurts. It's 13-1 right now, and I'm not sure exactly what's going on, or the police force is out there voting for their brother in arms.
Well,
I don't know, but
all my
people
family
not listening.
All my family are voting right now. I told them ahead of time to vote for me.
That's unbelievable.
And
so I will post our list to my Facebook page in the comment section. Put them up there. We'll pop them in there.
You know what? But before we go to number 1, let's do this. Let's talk about some honorable mentions. I think that's important.
Oh, I did that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I'm going to go. One of my honorable mentions. Let's see here. This is one that most people. This is 1984. 1984. This is a movie called Breakin'. It was involving breakdancing, and when I watched it, I was going to be the first breakdancer in Blanchard, Michigan history. Now, if you guys have seen me dance before, you know that is just not probable. I would have broke my neck. But 1984, Breakin', young, struggling jazz dancer meets up with 2 breakdancers together. They become the sensation of the street crowds. Good stuff right there. Breakin' is one of my honorable mentions. What do you got for an honorable mention?
Ready for this one?
Okay.
How did neither one of us have Vacation on our list?
Oh, yeah. I thought about that.
I thought about it too, but I just couldn't get it in my top 10, but I did put it underneath the honorable mention as we did that.
Let's see. Another honorable mention I have, Beverly Hills Cop and Beverly Hills Cop Part 2.
Yep, looked at it.
Eddie Murphy as Axel Foley was just awesome watching him. So funny. Such wit. And that would be back. Beverly Hills Cop was 84. Beverly Hills Cop 2 was 87. And that was the one that 87 had Brigitte Nielsen, who was married to Sylvester Stallone, the very tall blonde lady in the Alphabet Crimes. So what's another honorable mention you have? Okay.
I got Weird Science.
Okay.
They create the ultimate woman. And I mean, it's such a fantasy and stuff. And I just remember the older brother, Dork, that when he thunks him in the head with that shotgun, and he's just ka-tunk as he's talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. But talk about fun.
I can go with that. That's good
bras
stuff.
on their head just being stupid.
Well, yeah, you gotta have fun sometimes.
You know, it's funny too. The other one I had was Trading Places with Eddie Murphy. You talked about that.
And Dan Aykroyd? It was Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy, wasn't it?
Yes, but that was another one I loved. But that was the 80s. Eddie Murphy was huge.
Yeah,
how about
absolutely.
This one? Okay. I tried to stay lighthearted. Lost Boys.
That was pretty deep though. That was.
I left it off, but I put it on that one as we did it because I also had The Outsiders on there.
Oh, The Outside.
Come along,
yeah,
the Pony Stars.
Pony Boy.
That
yep.
was amazing.
So here's ones that I put on honorable mention. This was during the ninja craze of the 80s, and every kid wanted to be a ninja. And so I'm gonna go with 81, Enter the Ninja, and 83, Revenge of the Ninja. Those are legitimate movies right there.
I thought you were gonna do Ninja Turtles or something.
No. So Enter the Ninja, a guy comes back from the war, he's going to help his buddy out, and then the bad ninja shows up and starts killing off everybody, and then he's got to fight him in the end. And weirdly, the same plot for Revenge of the Ninja, even though in Revenge, the bad guy from Enter the Ninja is now the good guy in Revenge of the Ninja, but it doesn't matter. It's like legitimate stuff. I remember that we used to in Blanchard, we went to the hardware and bought some angle iron, and we put it in a campfire and started hitting it with a hammer because we thought we were going to forge out a sword, and we would carry them on our backs. This is back in the day when you could do this kind of stuff and nobody would call the police. We had grappling hooks and we were trying to climb on top of buildings. We only got like 6 inches off the ground, but in our minds we were about 18 feet off the ground. Awesome. And so that's a legitimate one right there. Is what I believe.
Your wife voted for me, just so you know. So
did she really?
Yeah, but wow. Dean and Jamie Mitchell are on there going really Barb. Hey, the other ones I had, but I thought they were too heavy. I'm a huge Aliens fan from Alien and all the Alien movies, but I thought it was too heavy because there's so much you got to really think, especially with the new ones, Prometheus, all the rest, and then Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, see, I wanted
to stay away from it because it's so intense.
Yes, especially the first
we got on that.
First like 25 minutes of Full Metal Jacket is definitely pretty intense. The other one I had, this is my son Jackson, one of his favorite movies, 1986. It's called Rad, R-A-D. It's it's a good movie about a young kid who wants to become an aspiring BMX star, and every kid in the 80s we rode BMX bikes and we were jumping off stuff and getting all kinds of air and crazy whatnot, and good movie, Rad, R-A-D. Look it up. It's a winner. It's a winner. Okay.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go 10-2, and then I'll tell you my number 1, and then you do the same thing. I got number 10, Can't Buy Me Love.
Okay.
Number 9, Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Okay.
Number 8, Caddyshack.
Okay.
Number 7 was Goonies.
Uh-huh.
Let's give you time to number yours because I know you didn't. But 6 is Princess Bride. 5 is Say Anything. 4 is Karate Kid. 3 is Ghostbusters. 2 is Ferris Bueller. And anybody who knows me knows my number 1, The Breakfast Club. I can't go in any different direction. High school kids from different cliques. We use it in speech class where we're all the same underneath. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what you got going on in your life, whether you're rich, whether you're poor. We all bleed the same. And these kids finally are forced to sit there together. I don't want to say against a common enemy, but the big thing with it is I just look at it going, they go back to school on Monday. Will they really be friends? It'll be interesting to see. But they got a good look at it's not just, and by the way, I truly believe every single one of us, we have a geek inside of us. We've got a brain inside of us. We got a prince or a princess. We got a goth. We're all so different depending on the situation. But that movie just kind of epitomizes everything I believed in, and kind of when I teach, it's the exact same thing. I don't care. Go ahead.
It's interesting because I literally just saw a thing yesterday that said the Breakfast Club was set on March 24th of whatever year this, so that would have been yesterday.
Yeah.
However many years ago. But I just saw the meme yesterday on Facebook in between all the COVID-19 posts.
It's a cult classic of the 80s.
But it was March 24th of like 1986 or whatever, which is kind of neat since today is March 25th.
Samantha just jumped in and said, I remember watching Breakfast Club in speech class with you because it's such a teachable movie, especially in speech class, because it talks about small group communication, interpersonal, just nonverbal. It doesn't matter what it is. But that was my number 1.
So it says here, my crack staff here at the Casa de Sawyer says, hold on, I'm trying to like take it out of his hand, and he's like manhandling.
Well, your head is huge right now.
Well, that's very true. How do you work this iPhone there, son? Hold on.
While he's doing that, the winner will get this beautiful roll of 2-ply.
Oh, don't worry about
toilet paper right here that I will give, or I will keep, or I will take to Chief Sawyer. But it is 2-ply, And we all know how valuable this is right now.
So it says March 24th, 1984 was the date given for the setting of John Hughes' 1985 classic, The Breakfast Club. So very appropriate that today is March 25th. Okay,
That's cool.
So number 10 for me, Lucas. Again, good movie that warms the heart. Number 9, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Again, another that you don't have to think a lot. It's just good stuff. Number 8 was Red Dawn. Love that movie. Absolutely amazing. Number 7 was Top Gun. Number 6, Karate Kid. Number 5, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Number 4 was the Rocky 3 and Rocky 4. Introduction of Mr. T to the world. Number 3, Norman Dale, Jimmy Chitwood in the Hickory Huskers with the movie Hoosiers. Number 2 is our friends the Goonies. Number 1, this is a movie that literally was just on. I just watched it. 1981. This is the synopsis says in 1936, archaeologist and adventurer Indiana Jones is hired by the U.S. government to find the Ark of the Covenant before Adolf Hitler's Nazis can obtain its awesome powers. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Now, I didn't see it when it came out in the theaters because I would have been 6, but I have since watched that movie many, many times. Much like our good friend Indiana Jones, I hate snakes as well. And so Raiders of the Lost Ark to me is the number 1 all-time 80s movie. I think that's a legitimate one right there. I mean, you can't go wrong with Indiana Jones.
No, and I agree. That would have been where it was. So what we'll do, Luke, if you can get that, shoot that to me, like in an email or a text. I'll copy it and I'll put these 2 on there. We'll leave the vote open. Check it tomorrow morning. You were up 12-6. I mean, they're really.
Wow.
Oh, it's 25. We're close. There we go. It is now 13-11.
Oh,
I made a huge jump. I'm catching ground. Oh, now Dan Cops are voting. Come on, guys. I was good to you, man. I got the thin blue line in the back of the car. Oh, now they're crushing me. See, I shouldn't open my mouth. There it goes.
yeah. Well, I mean, it is what it is. But
it happens.
the 80s movies were interesting because it was just a good time where you could just watch a movie and you actually went to the movies. I mean, I don't know that many people go to the movies anymore. They come out so fast on pay-per-view or whatever. So, that's kind of a good experience going to the movies, I think.
I got people messaging me wanting to know how we did the split screen.
You only wish you knew.
I know, and it's
don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. That's our secret. What else is going on?
And the best part, I got people with the talking dogs that I put on there. They want to know the app, and what really upsets me is they think I use an app. I film my dogs talking, and why would I need an app? I mean, it irritates me. They think I would manipulate something.
Seems legitimate. Seems very legitimate. And now, are there other people that are chiming in with movies they think should have been on our list? Or
yeah, they're all over. I just got a whole list here from Coach Brock. The Outsiders.
No, hold on. So let's pause for a second since Coach Brock is watching. So you and I we've done live two podcasts. Now he has this podcast called Best Friends with Big Walt Berry. And they only put one out it's like 19 months or something like that. So how is it that you and I have accomplished more in 7 days than less than 7 days?
We have a lot more time right now.
Well, that's very true. We do have a lot more time. I mean, Walt does have a busy business, but
let's hope not busy right now.
Okay, let's see Coach.
Pump Up the Volume, which I love.
Christian Slater, yeah.
Christian Slater was in there. Revenge of the Nerds, Caddyshack. Come on, I had Caddyshack on there, Ben. That was on mine. It was not on Chief Sawyer's. Please consider that when you vote, when you get to that. But it's Jay has yummy pot pie waiting. Wrap it up. It's going to get cold. That came from your wife.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it did.
We're going to put the list out there, you guys, as it gets on there. But we'll do it. Beetlejuice, I forgot from Tina as we looked at that. The biggest thing I want you guys to understand, and I know we get viewers in and out, people come and go. All Luke and I want to do, because it definitely helps us, it just takes a few minutes to forget about all the negatives. We just want to sit here and think on the positives, and it's okay. Like he and I don't agree with all the movies. It's okay to disagree with people. It's not personal, and we'll fight, tooth and nail on our movies and defend them. But I totally understand his Raiders of the Lost Ark. I love the show. Breakfast Club means more to me, so it's connections. And if we get a few minutes, like 30, 40 minutes we've been on here, and you forget about all the problems, then we accomplished our mission. Luke?
Exactly. No, I think that's spot on. I think Super Dad, huh?
I got this from some friends.
I think I've seen that somewhere at my house before. Not that it was mine, but my wife put that together along with a pot pie for you.
Yep, it's right here next to my computer.
You will definitely appreciate that. No, I think we're in a time right now where, you know, we do have a lot of uncertainty just going on, and it's not something to panic or be scared about. But I think this is the perfect time when you can kind of lose yourself in movies. I mean, what better to watch than, you know, Indiana Jones, you know, falling in those pit of snakes, thinking about that, about the scenes on Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure where they go to the sporting goods store and he has all these historical figures and they just destroy the store. I mean, how cool is that? Like that's just something you can escape and watch, and you don't have to think about anything else that's going on in the world right now. Or Hoosiers, when he says, "Reckon number 4 is going to put up their last shot, Dad." That's a good line right there. That's classic Hoosiers movie. So it's just good stuff.
Just to escape. You don't have to do a lot of thinking right now, and there's way too much thinking going on. Everybody's trying to predict what's going to happen. Everybody thinks they know what's going to happen. My whole point is I'm waiting to react to what happens. I'm not thinking ahead anymore. I've done enough of that over the last 2 days, so this got my head out of that. So we get that. That's why you're my bud. That's why you're my bud. So.
I appreciate it, buddy. Hey, you know, maybe we'll come back on with something new on Sunday. Who knows? We did this one early.
We'll see. We don't want to overkill it too many days.
I kind of just messaged you and said, "Hey, let's do this tonight." And you said, "All right, let's do it."
We found a way.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
All right,
but
be safe. Don't worry. Don't fret. You know, love your kids, hug on them, and that kind of stuff. I know they drive us crazy sometimes, but in times like this, it's very important for us to be to show them that extra love because they're uncertain as well, and so. But no, I think this is good. Well, we'll be putting all the list up, and make sure you vote for me, even though I don't really want the toilet paper from your house.
It's unused, I swear. This is the same one that I brought. It's the same one.
Hey, I'm practicing social distancing, buddy. Social distancing.
Okay, we got it. It's unwrapped. It's never been wrapped before. But hey, all we want to say is anybody that's watching anywhere, you have the best of times. Stay healthy. Stay strong.
See you guys.